Here's the biggest mindset problem that entrepreneurs have if you're experiencing those motivational ups and downs. So at some point, you don't feel motivated at all. You're kind of like dabbling around, and at some point you notice, wait, things are going in the wrong direction. I need to push myself more. And then you get motivated, and you're doing stuff that at some point you feel like, hey, I'm doing fine again. I think the business is doing well. And then you slack off again, and those loops are happening, and it's going up and down. But you're actually never really sustainably motivated in a realistic manner and actually achieve those awesome results. So here's the underlying psychology that you are falling for these days. So we need to distinguish negative motivation with positive motivation. Negative motivation means that you're running away from something. And that's very much connected to an emotion. For example, you feel, oh, I don't want to feel like I'm not doing well anymore. Or I don't want to be in a job anymore. I don't want something anymore. Positive motivation instead means that you're running towards something. Hey, I want to build an awesome business. I want to help people to improve their psychological state. I want to help, for example, in my case, I want to help people to combine their thinking and their feeling to be successful while still also being happy and managing their emotions. That's a positive motivation. And if you have those ups and downs, you are negatively motivated in a sense. You're mainly negatively motivated. It's never an either or, but you're mainly negatively motivated. That means if you're having a low point, at some point motivation kicks in because you don't want something anymore, right? For example, you're making less revenue. Oh, I don't want to be back in a job, or I don't want to feel like a loser, or I don't want to blah, blah, blah. But that happens, and then you're suddenly motivated from and by this negative motivation. You don't want something. And at some point, right, things are going better, you're making more revenue, for example. At some point, you don't have those negative feelings anymore, and you notice, oh, I don't feel bad anymore. I don't feel bad anymore. I think it's fine. I think I don't need to give it all today. Let's just have a short day today. Let's just slack off a little bit. And then the results get worse and worse. You're making, for example, less revenue again. And then you notice, damn, I don't want to feel like that anymore. And then you go up and up and down, up and down, up and down. And what you need to do here in the first place is to understand that you're lost. Most people don't get it because you're hanging around with entrepreneurs, people running their business. Maybe you mainly hang around with people who are employees and just have the 9-to-5 jobs, and they experience the same, and you don't even notice what is possible. And I'm not talking about being a constant workaholic and just not having a life. I'm talking about being passionate, fairly on the same level, and being motivated without having those massive dips of motivation in between. That's possible. So first of all, I want you to try hang around with different people. Try hang around with people who are much more motivated on a different level. I want you to be the small fish in the big pond again. And secondly, I want you to ask yourself the question, why? Why am I doing this? It's not about what needs to get done. You're probably making to-do lists of what needs to get done, and you're asking yourself, why am I not doing this? Well, because you don't have a big why you do that. And if you're not even capable to find one, maybe you're not looking close enough, maybe you're even running the wrong business. Might be also the case. And yeah, basically come up with an appealing vision. What are you running towards? Why are you doing this? There are a lot of tools you can use. I don't want to go into depth too much right now. We can talk about this individually. But the big point is, what is the positive vision you want to go towards? And then you have this frequent and consistent motivation. You're not running away from something. This running away is very powerful in the very beginning, especially. You notice that, right? You, for example, go to the gym again. You're eating healthy again because you kind of like got a belly, and you say, oh, I don't want to be overweight anymore. Like doing good, you're doing fine. Or you feel like, hey, I'm not learning anything. I don't want to be stupid, or I don't want to feel like I'm behind. I don't want to feel lazy. So you start reading a couple of books, then you're feeling fine again. And then you slack off again. So in the beginning, it's awesome. Use this motivation. But at some point where this turning point is happening, this is the point where you need to notice, oh, I'm in this weird phase between negative and positive motivation. Negative motivation is not working anymore, and I now need to transition into the positive motivation. So what is my vision? What do I want? And if you want clarity about that, if you want to build an appealing vision that is really based on your values, your strength, and your medium, how you want to express yourself, then you could press the link below. There you can just sign up with a call with me. There we would have a full hour free strategy call. It's a consultation session, and we together work out a very custom and very specific strategy that would help you to connect to your positive motivation and not ending up in those ups and downs, but actually being fairly consistent with your motivation. You have nothing to lose. Give this a try. Again, press this link below, because what are you waiting for? I hope, like, the goal of this video is that you start feeling lost. You start noticing something is going wrong. I could do so much better. And yes, you could. You're wasting your potential right now. And it could be so easy to actually change a couple of things. It's like your own system, your own business. It's like a system, right? You got to change a couple of things, a couple of tools, a couple of action steps, and suddenly it's going better. And that's the same with your psychology. It's also systematic thinking that you need to apply. And there are a couple of tools right now, a couple of points that you need to tweak, that you need to change a little bit, and then suddenly it's going smoother. It feels effortless. You don't need to suffer to be successful. A lot of people have this limiting belief, I need to suffer and then I can be successful. It's gotta be a pain in the ass. And those people are really high on motivation, have this massive drive. They usually don't suffer. They enjoy, if they're doing it right. If they have this big picture understanding of how good life works and how running a business while maintaining and sustaining this feeling of content works, they're actually feeling more energized than you do, and they are twice as productive. So you have nothing to do but just click on that link, schedule a strategy call, and I'm looking forward to talking to you soon.